Hey guys, Emily here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be doing some reformer work, some more basic work, just really getting back to basics, trying to get back to just classical exercises. We'll be doing a mix of basic and intermediate exercises. Let's go ahead and begin. Lying on our backs. Start off with a little light breathing work. Get in touch with our bodies. Go ahead and shimmy away slightly from the shoulder blocks so you're not shoved up against the shoulder blocks. My headrest is up. If it bothers your neck to have your headrest up, go ahead and put it down, but go ahead and stay in touch with your ribs and pay attention to those. A lot of times when our head is down, our ribs have a tendency to flare. We'll go over that in a second. I just have my feet comfortably placed on the footrest at this point. I'm on my arches because that's where it feels nice to me. Place your feet wherever you would like. My sacrum is heavy, meaning that from my tailbone to my hip bones, it's flat and connected with the mat. Maybe not completely connected, but it's definitely heavy. It's definitely yearning for flatness. I have a slight lift or curve in my low back. All 12 ribs are on though. My shoulder blades are flat and wide. If you're having trouble connecting your shoulder blades to the mat and maybe your shoulders are on you, try to take your arms up to a T. And from here, before you even think about the front of the body, let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Relaxing into the space, relaxing into our practice. From here, we're going to take my hands, place them down by my sides. I'm going to check in with the front of my body. My neck is long and loose. I don't have any tension in it. My jaw is also relaxed. I have a wide clavicle and I have a softened sternum, so I'm not carrying any stress up here at the front of my body. I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath. My fingers are pointing in towards each other on both sides of my ribs. I'm going to exhale. As I exhale, I'm going to draw my ribs together and bring my fingers across. Cross your fingers at the center of your ribs and feel how strong that feels right now. Feel the connection. That's the connection that we want to keep. No rib flaring during our exercises. I'm going to do it one more time. Inhale. And on my exhale this time, I'm going to drop my lower abdominals, drawing my belly button to my spine without imprinting or losing that curve in my low back. Go ahead and place your hands down here on your lower abdominals. Take another inhale. When you inhale, think of inhaling wide as opposed to up so that your ribs don't flare. Exhale. So inhale out. Expanding your ribs on the mat. Exhale to draw them back in towards the midline. From here, I'm going to pick up my feet, do a Pilates feet, place my toes on, my heels off. My heels are squeezed tightly together. My toes are separated. I'm going to have my knees tracking over my toes, maintaining my neutral spine. I'm going to inhale to press out and exhale to bend my knees across my toes to come back in, controlling the carriage. I have 3 to 4 springs on. If you have a reformer that has springs that are all the same weight, you may want to consider only putting 2 springs on. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Maintaining a neutral spine. Tweeze your seat at the top, drawing your inner thighs together. After you watch me do the exercise once or twice, please go ahead and focus your gaze back up onto the ceiling or wherever your head's supposed to be facing for the exercise, for sideline, facing the side, so that you don't put a strain on your neck. 8, 9, and 10. From there, we're going to bring our ankles, knees, and toes together. We're going to place right at the ball of our feet, or right where the ball of the feet meet the arch, on the foot bar, wrapping our toes, making a conscious effort to wrap our toes over the foot bar, like a little bird on a perch. From there, we're going to press out, pushing our heels under the foot bar at the same time, stretching out our hip flexors. And bend, adjust where you need to at any point, and bend everything, come back in. Don't lose your neutral spine. And inhale. Even on the inhale, see if you can drop your abdominals towards your spine a little bit deeper. as you press down. Your heels should drop fully as your legs fully straighten. You expand the springs completely at the same time. So press, one fluid motion. You shouldn't press out and then drop your heels. It's one motion all together, very graceful. 9 and 10. From there, we're going to come in, flex our toes back strongly towards our knees, separate our heels so they're under our sits bones. We are going to squeeze our glutes and our hamstrings to press the carriage out and release our hip flexors to come back in. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Still drawing our abdominals down, bringing our belly button to our spine the whole time. Our ribs are knitting together and our necks are long and loose. If you're still having trouble with your shoulder running, maybe not your arms out to a T, just flip your palms up to the ceiling and see if you can bring your shoulders to the mat a little bit farther while maintaining your rib connection. Meaning your corset that's surrounding your ribs, your muscle corset is still drawn tightly and your ribs are not flared. One more. And in. Go ahead and point and flex to sort of release your shins real fast. We're going to bring our heels wide on the foot bar, flexing our toes back towards our knees again. We're going to rotate our femur in our hip socket to track our knees over our big toes. Squeeze glutes and hamstrings to press out. Twist your seat at the top. It'll feel as if you're drawing your inner thighs together through tension that you create in your own body. Your legs or your feet will not move on the foot bar. But due to the squeeze and the twist in your seat drawing towards the midline, it will feel as though you're creating more tension. Okay. On this one, we're going to exhale and inhale on the way back in. Change the breath pattern up slightly. Be a little interesting. If this is not working for you, please go back to inhaling on the way out and exhaling on the way in. 3 more. Draw it back into the carriage or the bumper with control. Come up onto the balls of your feet into a forced arch or a demi-point position. We're going to do 10 more in this position. Again, if you so choose to, exhale on the way out, inhale on the way in to change the breath pattern. Otherwise, inhale on the way out and exhale on the way in. Exhale, straightening, still yearning everything together. Do the tension in your own body. Exhale. Check on your neutral spine. Make sure that you're not sinking into that little curve or lifting your low back. You're maintaining your forced arch position. Demi-point position. The weight on this exercise on the foot bar should be between your big toe and your second toe. 2 more. Shake out your neck if you're feeling any tension. From there, we're going to lift our feet up, bring them to the center, place them on the foot bar in the forced arch or demi-point position again. I'm squeezing my ankles, knees, and toes together. You're not drawing my legs together by squeezing my inner thighs, tweezing my seat. I'm going to leave my legs together the whole time. I push out and pull in. On this one, I'm going to inhale on the way out and exhale on the way in. Still squeeze everything together the whole time. Strong intention. In through the nose, out through the mouth, unless you're wearing a mask. And press out on this next one. Staying at the top, I'm going to bend my left foot, drawing my heel under the foot bar, bending my right knee over the foot bar. Enjoy that calf stretch. We're going to pull up. As soon as both heels meet at the top in the forced arch position, I'm going to drop my right heel, bending my left knee over the foot bar. Enjoy the stretch there. We're going to lift. We're going to speed it up slightly. Left, right. The speed of this exercise completely depends on how stable your sacrum and hips are. If you're rocking back and forth or tilting side to side, you need to slow down the exercise. Draw in on your vest of support, or bring your ribs together and draw your belly button to your spine to maintain the stabilization in your upper body. And then begin again and try to see what your movement is like today. Some days you can move faster than others. One more set on each side. Both feet up in the forced arch. I'm going to drop my heels under and zip everything up through the center to lift with my abdominals. And draw my heels under and lift right up through my abdominals. And here's 3. And left. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. One more. 10. Now drop your heels under and begin to bend your knees. Still squeeze your legs together over the foot bar for a nice little Indian stretch. From there, I'm going to come up to sitting. I'm going to change my springs for curl-ups, hundreds, and coordination. I use the same springs for all of those. I use 2 springs. Again, for those of you who have just a set of springs where they're all the same springs, you might choose just to use 1 on this. But let's go ahead and come lying down on our sides. I'm going to reach back, grab my handles, make sure that they are even, bring them up. There's a slight tension in them, spiraling out to my pinky blade edge, draw my shoulders away from my ears. I'm going to inhale, exhale to curl up. Inhale back, and exhale to curl up. One more. Draw your belly to your spine, and draw your ribs to your hips. I'm going to bring my arms out to a V position, no wider than the reformer. Again, spiral out to your pinky blade edge. We're going to draw our pinky blade edge to our hips first. Inhale, exhale to curl up, and inhale back, and exhale to curl, and inhale back. One more. Inhale back. Bring your arms out to a T, hover slightly off of your mat. Inhale, exhale, curl up over your sternum. Leave a space between your chin and your chest, an apple or an orange. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. Come back, arms up to the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, curl up, extend your legs to your working level, and begin pumping. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. On the exhale, draw your belly button to your spine. On this next one, see if you can curl up a little deeper over your sternum, drawing your ribs together more strongly to support your neck from the curl up rather than crunching your neck and putting tension in. On this next one, reach your fingers even more strongly towards the foot bar and pump vigorously. Don't slack the mat. Bring your hands to about your hips and begin pumping. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze your heels together. 2 more sets. Stop there. Draw your knees into your chest. Raise your arms to the ceiling. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Scooch up slightly from the shoulder blocks. Bring your knees up to tabletop. We're not going to crunch in on our body on the coordination. We're going to come back to tabletop every time, trying to maintain a neutral spine. Squeeze your biceps into your ribs. Bring your fists over top of your shoulders. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to curl up, extending your arms towards the foot bar, extending your legs long, curling up. Turn your feet out from parallel. Open your feet, no wider than the reformer. Squeeze them back together with your inner thighs. Parallel feet, draw your knees into tabletop. Bring your hands back to your shoulders. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale. Exhale to press out. Turn your feet up. Open 1, open 2 beats. Feet to parallel, knees to tabletop. Hands to shoulders. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Here's 3. Open, or over. Turn it 1 and 2 and 3. Feet to parallel, knees to tabletop. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Press out. Turn your feet out. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet parallel. Draw your knees to tabletop. Draw your arms in. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale. Exhale for 5. Turn your feet out. Open. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet to parallel. Draw your knees to tabletop. Draw your arms in. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale to repair. Before you begin beating your feet, wait for instructions. Exhale to press out. Flex your feet back. In place, walk 10. Little walk 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop there. Turn your feet to Pilates feet. Click your heels together, tiny clicks. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, parallel, tiny walks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Curl it deeper. 2, 1. Turn your feet out to Pilates feet, tiny clicks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn your feet parallel. Draw your knees into tabletop. Bring your hands into your shoulders. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Peg your straps. Drop your feet so your calves are resting over your foot bar. You don't want to grab onto the foot bar with your knees. And gently release from side to side. Taking a nice deep breath. Exhale. Now we're going to go ahead. Come up to sitting. I am going to go ahead and change over to my foot straps. If you have double loop straps, obviously you're already there. I'm also going to change my springs for feet and straps. I'm going to use 2 heavy springs. Please use whatever makes the best sense for you. I'm going to come lying down onto my back. Press out with my left foot, bring my right foot into the strap. Press out with my right foot in the strap, place my left foot in. Shimmy away from the shoulder blocks slightly so I'm not shoved into them. I'm going to bring my feet into a frog position. Pilates V, feet drawn in tightly to the body. Feet flex back, maintaining neutral spine. Check and rest. I'm going to press out, squeezing everything together in the midline, and exhale to separate. Inhale, exhale. Press, release. Shake out your neck if you have any tension there. If you find yourself having trouble maintaining your sacrum stability as you're pressing out, try lifting your legs slightly. Whereas if you find that pressing your legs out is super enjoyable and not hard at all, try lowering your legs slightly to challenge yourself. One more. I'm going to extend my legs to the ceiling, turn my feet parallel. I'm going to flex my feet, use my glutes and hamstrings to lower my legs to work in level, point my toes, and float my legs back out to the ceiling the entire time, keeping my neutral spine stable on the front of my body and the back. So exhale to lower your feet. Inhale to lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Lift. Here's 8. And 9. One more. And 10. And up. Go ahead and turn your feet out to a Pilates seat. We're going to open to the side and flex our feet using our inner thighs to bring our heels together at the same time. Float your legs open with the point of foot and flex to bring together. Again, maintaining a neutral body position. Please note that I'm trying not to move my carriage as I'm doing the exercise. I'm trying to maintain the same resistance in the springs the entire time. One more. Drop your abdominals up to the ceiling. I'm going to open my feet the width of the reformer. Pull down with my inner thighs and hamstrings. Squeeze my legs together with my inner thighs. And float my legs back up for my first leg circle. Open the width of the reformer. Squeeze down and together. And lift. 3. We're going to 5. Squeeze with your legs and your abdominals. One more. And lift. And now to reverse. Pull your legs down with your glutes and hamstrings. Open your legs to width of the reformer. Float them back up and squeeze them together. And float down. And open. And lift. Here's 3. Here's 4. And finally, here is 5. Bring your legs into frog. Go ahead and take your right foot out of the strap and find the foot bar. Peg your right strap. Bring your left foot up to the ceiling, straightening your right leg, dropping your heel under the foot bar for a calf stretch. Both legs are parallel. Begin to bend your right knee over your big toe, allowing your foot to draw up at your underarm. Try to keep your sacrum heavy to really get the full utilization of the stretch. Try not to feel your ribs. Really connect down there with your hips and your tail, your sacrum. So press out with your right hand. Take the left strap and pull the foot across your body. You can float your left hip up off. Try to leave your ribs on. Begin to bend your right knee to intensify your stretch. You can let go of the strap as long as you're able to keep your foot across your body. You may hold on somewhere where it's comfortable. Don't force the stretch too much. Just gently encourage your leg to come across your midline for the IT band stretch. Go ahead and straighten your right leg. Your foot will come to the outside. Go ahead and keep a light hand on your foot. Turn out both feet, the foot on the foot bar and the foot in the strap. I like to come to a forced arch or demi-point here. If you'd like to stay with a flexed foot, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to begin to bend my knee over my big toe. Keeping both hips equally grounded on the mat, I'm going to allow my leg to float up at a diagonal. You don't need to give your foot a yank. It'll help float. It'll encourage your hip floating off of the carriage. We don't want that. Keep your leg as straight as possible. Really get into the stretch. Go ahead and straighten your right leg, taking your left foot out of the foot strap, pegging your strap. Begin to bend your right knee and place your left foot across your right knee to come into a hip flexor stretch. Place your left leg across your right knee above your ankle so you're not sickling or bending your foot into the stretch. Go ahead and reach through your bent knee to grab for the back, underneath your knee, or in front of your knee. Your other hand will come to the outside of the leg. What we're looking for here is still to maintain the neutral spine in this stretch so that you get the full benefits of deepening the stretch. Go ahead and release your legs. Go ahead and press out with your left leg. Bend your right knee in. Place your foot strap on your right knee. Both legs are parallel. Begin to bend your left knee so that your knee is tracking over your big toe. Keep your leg as straight as you possibly can. Allow that foot to float up over your underarm rather than your nose. So come across the body for across the midline stretch in just a moment. Go ahead and straighten your leg. Gently take the strap in your left hand, pulling your leg across your body, across the midline, floating your right hip up, leaving your ribs on. Begin to bend your left knee. Let go of the strap. You may place a light hand on the strap to encourage more of a stretch. No need to yank on it. On your leg, calf, on your thigh, wherever is the most comfortable for you. Maybe you're getting enough of a stretch without any encouragement, and that's great too. Go ahead and straighten your left leg. Bring your leg back across. Take the strap gently in your right hand. Turn out both feet. I'm coming up to a forced arch. You may stay in a flex foot position. Begin to bend your left knee over your toe. I'm going to release my strap, maintaining a neutral spine, trying to keep my hips square. Go ahead and take a couple deep breaths here. Go ahead and straighten your left leg. Take your right foot out of the foot strap. Peg your foot strap. Adjust if you need to before you begin to come in to the foot bar by bending your left knee, placing above your right ankle on your shin, across your left knee. Take your right hand, thread it through your right bent leg. Take your left hand around your left leg. If you're more than able to maintain a neutral spine in this figure four hip flexor stretch, go ahead and bring your hands to the front of the knee. Make sure that you can still keep your shoulder blades flat and your sacrum heavy. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Go ahead and release the stretch. Come up to sitting. We are going to be moving on to stomach massage. So adjust your carriage if you need to for stomach massage. Grab your sticky mats. Place them at the front of your reformer. I'm going to come to sitting. I'm going to check on my position. I'm looking for a hand's width, maybe a little bit more, depending on your body, from the end of my carriage to my tailbone, or my body. I'm going to bring my feet up to a Pilates V. I'm going to try to sit straight up on my sits bones. I'm going to round forward, and I'm going to round my shoulders in, curling up over my sternum. I'm going to place my fingertips on the front corners of my carriage, facing the foot bar. My heels are connected on Pilates V, toes on heels. I'm going to press out on, I'm going to have 3 to 4 springs on. Otherwise, this would have been a really enjoyable stomach massage. I'm going to press out on 1, drop my heels on 2, lift my heels on 3, and bend my knees over my toes coming up 4. Press out 1, bend 2, straighten 3, bend 4. I'm going to drop my belly button to my spine the whole time. I'm not going to crunch my chin to my chest, but I am going to be in a C-shaped curve looking down towards my stomach. Here's 5. Make sure that you're not breaking your wrist when you're pushing into the front. 2 more. Squeezing my inner thighs together. I'm going to float my arms up, bring them around to my shoulder blocks. Try not to break my wrists here. I'm going to open my chest, tweezing my blades slightly, not flutter my ribs. Squeeze my glutes and hamstrings. Press out on 1, drop the heels on 2, raise them 3, bend my knees 4. Same breath pattern. Press out and lower and lift and bend. 3, 4. Still drawing my belly and my spine. Still bringing my shoulders away from my ears. Drawing everything in my midline. 2 more. From there, I'm going to release my arms with control. I'm going to come down. I'm going to release a spring. I'm going to bring my arms forward, Not coming back past my ears. Trying to reach out and flat back. I'm going to press out on one, dry my belly button to my spine, and pull back in on two. And press. See if you can deepen the stretch over your hamstrings as you press out and pull in. Inhale and exhale. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Tighten your vest to support. From there, I'm going to come out to sitting. Bring my hands out in front of me. I'm going to open my left hand, opening my chest, twisting from the belly button up, coming across my ribs to the left. I'm not going to bring my arm behind me like this. I'm going to come back forward. My ribs are determining the extent of my twist, not my arm. I'm not bringing my arm back past my peripheral vision. Even if I am twisting my neck, my arm staying slightly in front of my body. My hips are staying stable, and my heels are not rubbing against one another. And one more. From here, I'm going to separate my feet to the outside edges of the foot bar. I'm on my arches here. I'm going to grab in the middle of the reformer. I'm going to press back, fold over my legs, tuck into my springs for a nice stretch without letting my stomach dump out the front. I'm still going to be drawing my belly button towards my spine. From here, I'm going to draw my knees and while I sit straight up, come off to the side, and I'm going to remove my sticky mat. We're going to go into a kneeling reverse curls. So I'm going to have one light spring on for that. It's a quadruped position. Be careful, this is much lighter than what you just worked with. So try to be very careful as you're adjusting yourself on your carriage. My knees are against the shoulder blocks. I'm going to go ahead and come down, grab onto the outside of the wood, walk myself out so that my wrists are underneath my shoulders. My knees are under my hips, and I'm going to take my thumbs, I'm going to tuck them to the outside of the wood so that they're not taken off by the carriage when I tuck in my reverse curl. I'm going to inhale, exhale. I'm going to curl over my sternum, not round my shoulders in, so that I'm looking in at my belly button. I'm going to move the carriage through a use of my abdominals, a controlled use of my abdominals. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to deepen the connection of my lower abdominals. Pulling the carriage in, maybe getting into my mid-neck or abdominals. Release out, maintaining my C-shaped curve. I'm going to move from my lower abdominals and release. Look at how slow this movement is. I'm not bending at my hip flexors. This movement is happening because my C-shaped curve is deepening. One second, let me go ahead and tie this up so that you can see it a little better. I'm right here, and in my C-shaped curve. Uh-oh, my hip flexors start moving, but my curve is deepening. Here's 6. Here's 7. One more. I'm connected through my lats. I have slightly more pressure on my pinky blade edge. I'm not going to lift my right leg. I'm going to lift my left leg and cross it behind my right leg as if I'm curtsied. Still trying to square my hips. My knee is tapping the mat or attempting to tap the mat, and my toes are lifted. Come back into my C-shaped curve. I'm going to draw my hips towards my ribs to draw the carriage in. A good way to make sure that you're not using your hip flexor is to check on the pressure in the front of your thigh from the shoulder block. The pressure at the shoulder block in the front of your thigh that you have at the beginning of the exercise should be the same pressure as you round deeper and as you release. 2 more. One more. And release. Go ahead. When you come to the bumper, lift your left leg. Place it back in front of the shoulder block. Lift your right leg. Tap your right knee behind your left in a curtsy position and lift your left toes to the ceiling. Come into your C-shape curve. Exhale, draw the carriage in closer to your hands. And release. I've heard people say before that this exercise is like getting punched in the stomach. Cause you to round over like that. We're still maintaining that lift even though we're in curl up between our chin and our chest. Inhale all the way back. Exhale to curl deeper. Inhale back. One more. Still try to engage your lats. And come back. When you're back in the carriage, lift your right knee. Place it back in front of the shoulder block. Come down into a child's pose position with your hands reaching out over the sides of your reformer. Go ahead and walk your hands back. Begin to articulate your spine up. From here, we are going to go ahead and I'm going to put one more spring on. We are going to be moving into long stretch and down stretch, round back elephant. So I'm going to adjust my foot bar back up to where I had it before I adjusted it for stomach massage. I'm going to come off to the side. I'm going to place one hand on the reformer, my other hand on the reformer, bend my knee. I have my ball of my foot placed in the crease between my headrest and my carriage. I'm going to press out my glute. I'm going to lift my other leg and bring it around from my feet to meet in that crease between the headrest and the carriage. My feet are on Pilates feet. And lift it up to my abdominals. I'm going to press back on one. Pull back so that my shoulders are over my wrists. Here's 2. We're going to go to 4 with this spring tension, and then we're going to drop it. If you're up for the challenge. 3, try not to break your wrists. Break your wrists as little as possible. Bring the carriage in as you bend your knees, come down. Take your spring off if you have the springs on. Come back up into your plank position. Draw your abdominals up and in. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Tweeze your seat. Press back and pull back across. You will not be able to press out as far with less weight. So make sure that you're controlling the carriage and the carriage is not controlling you. Drop down to your knees. Place the spring back on. Separate your feet in front of the shoulder blocks. Tap your toes. Squeeze your glutes to press your hips forward. Draw your abdominals up and in. Draw your bellies forward together. Spiral out to your pinky blade edge. Draw your shoulder blades down. Press out, coming over your knees quickly, and pull back up as if you're sliding at the inside of a round ball. And press out. And up. Here's 3. If you have any issues, consider using a pad. If that does not work for you, please consider not doing this exercise. 2 more. And then do a back extension. And 1 more. And then just a back extension. From there, we're going to tuck our toes, lift up into a pike, come onto flat feet with our heels in front of the shoulder blocks. If you're taller, you may have to come in a little bit more, or I mean if you're shorter, you may have to come in a little bit more to be able to reach. I have my feet in front of my shoulder blocks. I'm going to round in, leaving my ears between my biceps. Again, I'm in that C-shaped curve, rounding over, not rounding my shoulders in, just like I'm kneeling reverse curl. I have my toes raised, so I'm not gripping with my toes. All 10 toes are raised. I'm on the 3 points of my foot, behind the big toe on the ball of the foot, behind the little toe on the ball of the foot, and behind the heel. Equal weight. I'm going to press out without losing my C-shaped curve. And pull back in, deepening it. And 2. There's 3. Push with your glutes and hamstrings. The trick is to not lose your C-shaped curve. From there, I'm going to come down onto my knees. And I'm going to change my springs. I'm going to change to one heavy spring. We're going to be doing bridging for hamstrings. I'm going to drop my headrest. Make sure that you drop your headrest, please. I'm going to carefully come onto my back. I'm going to place my feet about hip width apart and on the arches of my feet. I'm going to platform my arms by my side. I'm not going to roll up onto my shoulders. I'm not rolling past where my scapula or my shoulder blades are flat on the mat. I'm going to inhale, exhale, tuck my tailbone, squeeze my glutes, using my inner thighs to keep the carriage into the bumper. I'm going to make sure that my hips are even. I'm going to begin to articulate my spine. Back down the mat, leaving the carriage into the bumper. I'm going to inhale, exhale, lift, leave the carriage into the bumper. I'm going to come back down. Leaving the carriage into the bumper the whole time. This is the challenge. One more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Pull it in. Articulate your spine back down. I'm going to shake out my legs real fast. I'm going to bring my feet wide, still on the arches, turning out my feet, knees tracking over toes. Inhale. Exhale to articulate up. Pulling the carriage in. Articulate my spine back down to the mat. Back to neutral. And exhale to lift. Inhale up. And exhale back down. One more, guys. Inhale. Exhale to lift. Squeeze it. Squeeze your booty. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your hamstrings. And articulate back down. We're going to shake it out. From there, I'm going to come up off the side. Our final stretch is going to be the psoas stretch with a side bend. I'm going to place one light spring on, not a yellow please if you have colored springs. Might need a little something a little heavier than that. I'm going to come to the side. I'm going to place my outside hand on the very edge of the foot bar. I'm going to place my inside hand a little bit closer to the middle, but not all the way to the other side. I'm going to put my big toe, I'm going to line it up with the front of the wood right here. And I'm going to tuck my toes, put my heel against the shoulder block, and drop my knee to the carriage while sitting up as straight as I possibly can, as if there's a string sticking out of my head and someone's pulling it. From there, I'm going to sit into the stretch. Really feeling an opening in the front of my body, from underneath my ribs, all the way down to my thigh, and lift back up. From there, I'm going to drop it down again, leaving my ribs together, my best to support, very tight, my neck nice and long. And lift. One more. I'm going to take my outside hand, float it up, and reach for where the wall meets the ceiling on the opposite side of the reformer. I'm going to come out of the stretch, place my hand back, and carefully come up. And then I'm going to carefully step off the side of the reformer and go to the other side. I'm going to line my big toe up with the front of the wood again. I'm going to take my inside leg, my outside hand on the outside of my foot bar, my inside hand closer to the middle. Mine's not right in the middle, but it's close. I'm going to lift my foot up, tuck my toes, heel against the shoulder block, put my knee on the carriage, lift up as if someone is pulling the top of my head by a string. I'm going to sit down into the stretch, really feeling from my ribs all the way down to my thigh, opening up. Pull myself back up with control. When the carriage is over, I'm going to release down again, staying tall as long as I possibly can, pressing my hip forward. Come back up. One more with the side bend. We're going to come back down. When you get to the bottom of the stretch, release your outside hand, lift it up. Reach for where the wall and the ceiling meet with your fingertips. Energy coming out of your fingertips towards that position of the room. Come back up. Release your hand back to the foot bar. Come back in. Come carefully off the reformer, and I hope that you all had a great class. Thank you so much for joining me.